The ear, where it came from, and what it's going to do to you. Part 1. The Rise of Factories. Created by Group A, Aaron Henry, Carolina Metzka, and Carrie Curlin.
The year is 1761. My name is Agnes Killingsworth, Aggie for short. I live in England in a small town called Barnoldswick, along with my mother, father, and grandmother. Life is good. My mother and grandmother help my father support our family by making sweaters to sell in town. But things are beginning to change.
I got it.
Good afternoon, Mr. Killingsworth, Mrs. Killingsworth, Ms. White. We have to talk.
What is it? What do you want? Mother, I'm so sorry. My mom's a bit senile.
Fine. Pardon me, sir, but what business do you have here with us today? We need 50 more sweaters in your shipment this week.
They can't do that. It takes all the time they can spare to reach your requirements now. They won't be able to make more.
Well, right now I have more demand than I can supply. So either you guys figure out a way to meet my demands, or I'll have to find someone who can do that.
Well, good day to you. Well, that went well, that ungrateful...
Mother!
Mommy. Not now, Aggie, not now.
Little did we know that was a foreshadowing of what was to come. Things were changing all over Europe. New ideas and new inventions were being created that would make my mother and grandmother's jobs a lot easier, and would eventually put them out of work. Inventions like cotton gins and spinning jennies. It was a new revolution, one of ideas and technology, an industrial revolution. But besides the new inventions, there were many other changes coming at us that we would never have expected. One of these changes were factories. Factories were facilities that were built to house machines that manufactured various goods. One of these industrial buildings was built in my hometown, Barnoldswick. We watched for weeks as this factory was built, wondering what it was and how it would affect us. It was meant to be a textile factory, filled with looms and other clothing-making machines. After it was built, my mother and grandmother were forced out of business. My mother was forced, along with several other people in our town, to work long 12-hour shifts in the factory. All these new inventions and factories seemed like a good idea. Although there was much danger involved, the factories provided many jobs and produced goods much quicker than one could do by hand. There was only one problem.
Production is only at 40%, Mr. Gugelmeyer. We still can't meet all our demands.
So what's the problem?
We just don't have enough employees to work at all the stations.
Then just hire some more.
That's the problem. We've already hired all of the able-bodied adults in town.
I got it! I got an idea.
The year is 1763, 2 years later. A lot has changed. Now, like my mother, I am working in the textile factory. I am not the only one my age either, though I am lucky to be as old as I am. Since the number of adults in town was not enough to meet the needs of the factory, they began to employ children like me. This was the start of child labor. They employed children as young as 5, and adults as old as they can still work, but women and children preferred. They could be paid less and were easily able to adapt to the new technology and learn how to use it. We faced the long days with 12-hour shifts and barely any time for breaks. The work is hard and sometimes even dangerous. My friend Brunhilde and I have worked together for over a year, doing various jobs around the textile factory. One day, her and I were working in the stitching room with a few other employees. This was the day when we were suddenly reminded of the danger of our jobs. I was moving some materials out of the working room, and I bumped into a box of new machines. The adult supervisors must not have secured it properly, because it fell over and landed on her hand. Many children like Brunhilde met the same fate, getting injured due to the poor working conditions in the factories. When children were injured, very often they would be kicked out of their homes because they could not bring in money to the house. Parents at the time were in a state of mind where they saw their children as more of a burden than anything else. These children lived on the streets and were often came together to form gangs. This is what happened to Brunhilde.
What are we gonna do? There's nothing we can do. She can still help me around the house. She can help clean and she can't work. She doesn't have extra mouth to feed. But she's our daughter. We can't afford her right now. But I can work, really. I'm sorry. I mean, I can try, but we can't keep you.
After being kicked out of her home, Brunhilde wandered the streets. She no longer had a place to stay or anyone to be with. She knew none of her other family would take her in. She walked for hours, not sure of where she should go or what she was going to do. That's when she met a gang of injured children. Like her, they had been kicked out of their homes because of their inability to work. To survive, there was nothing they could do except join together. They had no one they could rely on but each other. That's why, when the gang offered to take her in, Brunhilde joined them. She knew there was no other way to survive. In this gang, Brunhilde felt safe. She, like the others, felt that this gang could replace the families that had left them behind. These gangs often got into trouble, including Brunhilde's gang. Breaking into people's homes and shops, stealing, and even mugging the defenseless passers-by was a common occurrence. With no parents or adults to tell them what to do, they did what they wanted to, and, more importantly, what they had to do to survive. Anything could and usually did happen in these times. I've heard it said that some things in life have to get worse before they can start getting better. If that's true, then with everything that's happened, I hope things will get better soon. I just hope that all the work we've put into this revolution pays off in the end.
Are you scared? Wait, come here. Got it. We have to talk. Stop! I'll get it. No, we're not. I got it.